and copy and paste your link.
Okay, I'll do that. So anyhow, before I got interrupted, what I've found on YouTube is that most atheists are just cherry-picking arguments from guys like David Silverman and just name your favorite atheist, and they just recycle these arguments and they present them as if it's something they came up with all by themselves. They haven't done the work.
No, I disagree with that. Absolutely disagree with that. I've heard your very clever copy-pastheist, and you've said it so many times, and honestly, it's a very disingenuous way of approaching a criticism of your position. Now, I know the phenomenon you're talking about, and I agree with you that it's frustrating when you sort of hear the same things over and over again, but as it happens in this sort of a discussion, I mean, I don't expect that you or Bible-thumping wingnut or anyone else is going to say something really unusual to me today that I haven't heard in YouTube videos or in Shock of God's Room or watching Size videos or any of the Hovind stuff. My ears are always open for a different perspective, but, you all say the same stuff. Now, when I say that to you, you're going to go, oh, well, of course we do, because we're relying on the Bible. Well, when you offer that, turn around and say, well, we're allowed to all kind of repeat and recite each other, then you guys can't. You reveal a big misunderstanding about how non-believers approach this situation. Now, you are very passionate about your beliefs in Christ and about the role Christ should have in your life and hopefully in the lives of other people. And, the atheists are really not, and again, this goes against Christian theology, me saying this, but atheists are really not energized by that topic. So when we go to say, we get these questions like, well, why do you care? Why do you make YouTube videos? Why don't you believe? There's this sort of growing swell of support and sort of communication and whatnot, and we do borrow from each other's ideas. And there are times that when I heard Matt Dillahunty say a couple of years ago about skepticism. He said that if anybody, how did it work now? I'm not a skeptic because I'm an atheist. I'm an atheist because of my skepticism. I thought, that says so much. That really presents how I feel about this issue. I'm going to borrow that line and I'm going to use it. Well, there's stuff that Christopher Hitchens said that I don't agree with, so I'm not going to borrow that stuff. So where I disagree with you is your claim that somehow people aren't thinking, that the clutch isn't engaged in their brain, or that they are presenting it as if they invented it. We all know that we all communicate and there's this web of ideas and we all share ideas. So I think it's an unfair criticism, one, to say that people are presenting it to you as if it's their idea, because I don't see that being the case. And number two, so what? Might we please address the issues raised?
But what if one at
a time?
I wanted to just answer real briefly. That's fine. Then go to hell.
You're the third person to tell me that today.
Well,
that's where you're going.
Heaven for the climate, hell for the company.
There's another copy-paste statement.
Yeah.